out. Here come former SportsCenter anchor Bob Stevens, esteemed basketball coach Rich Basirico, and Hall of Fame sports writer Curry Kirkpatrick. And someone's going under the bus.
I think we got plenty of folks about ready to go under the bus. Coach is going to join us. We're going to throw him under the bus here in a minute.
I don't know what happened here. What's going on?
All right. He was all with us, and we start the open. Justin, you may get to join us before this is over. Justin Jarrett, our producer. We, of course, brought to you by Hudson's on the Docks, a great seafood restaurant on Hilton Head Island in South Carolina, where it has been cold the last couple of nights, but it is warming up, going to be in the 60s later on the week, which will be better than most of you probably have. Hey, let's start right off the bat. We've been throwing Aaron Rodgers under the bus, but gosh, he just might lead the Steelers to the playoffs. Bizarre. They win their 23rd straight Monday Night Football home game. I don't have any idea how to explain that, except for the fact that the Dolphins have now lost 14 in a row when the temperature gets below 40 degrees. Let's throw the Dolphins under the bus, I guess, for last night.
Yeah, that was a gimme. I think that was a gimme. But I would, but at least Rodgers and the rest of them got out of there without tearing their ACLs. I want to throw. I think with this ACL thing, I think we should throw all the ACLs of all the stars of the NFL under the bus. Ooh. Make the rest of the season fair again. Because I mean the two really faces of the league went down on the same day with ACLs. It was just terrible. I was flipping around on Sunday, as you guys probably do, watching a bunch of games, and I happened to see both of these injuries live, which was kind of amazing. One guy goes out, Mahomes, and then Micah Parsons goes out. It's just terrible and both of them were like they're practically non-contact. I mean, Mahomes
happen like that, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, Parsons just flew at Bo Nix and missed him, and he went down on the knee, and it was crushing. And Bo Nix looked around like the play was over. Bo Nix never saw what happened. He looked around, and there's Parsons on the ground, like out. And Bo Nix went over, kind of condolences, I guess, and he never saw what happened. It was amazing.
It is.
I think, and now all the experts are rating, saying the Packers' postseason chances are gone, and I kind of agree with them because Parsons is part of that. Yeah, Parsons is such a force multiplier, makes everybody around him better, and they have to put 2-3 guys on him, and the Packers' defense just becomes so much different, like it was obviously before they got him.
Yeah.
But who do you guys think who do you think is the best team going on right now when you look at all the teams? Who do you think you say Green Bay Packers might be done, which is probably true, but Denver, New England, I just can't see either one of those teams winning the Super Bowl.
No.
Rich is ghosting us all, right?
Yes.
He's like the ghost.
I don't know what happened to my phone. It's ridiculous. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you fine. It's actually better. We don't have to see you. It's much better.
It's better for everybody. It's better for everybody. But let's talk about last night's game. Help me understand, you guys, how Pittsburgh has held Miami to 3 points for 3.5 quarters. And what happens defensively now that Miami can score 2 touchdowns in a span of 5 minutes? What is going on? How can you stop a team from holding them 3 points for 3.5 quarters, and then you can't do it for the last 9 minutes of the game?
Sounds like the famous prevent defense, which thrown up by Pittsburgh.
It happens all the time, doesn't it? Think about it. It happens all the time. Teams get a lead, and they start attacking the quarterback and just go 8 in a box. And then they think that's going to solve the situation. It doesn't. I mean, Miami, I know really people are going to say, well, they didn't have a chance. Well, they got back in the game. They definitely got back in the game. Yeah. Here's my other thing. My other hang up is NFL tackling. Tackling in the NFL I think it's brutal. I mean, they look to tackle the guys up by their chest, and they're throwing their arms out there. And it looks like isn't he supposed to be the best of the best, and they can't tackle. I think it's pitiful in some situations.
They either want to put a big hit on the guy or they want to drag him around. Yeah, there's not much tackling. That's true.
It looks like a bear hug sometimes when they go in the attack.
Well, even the Mahomes injury, he wasn't really tackled. He hurt himself. He hurt himself. Yeah. I just wanted to talk about he and Micah going out together in the same day. It's just and the Chiefs is the previous week I watched the Chiefs, and I said last week it was kind of sad. Their era is over, but this week it was really over. And when they carried him out. They're I don't. What do you think about the Chiefs getting rebuilt? What are they going to have to do? Because is Mahomes. This injury is the normal recovery time does not get him back to begin the season.
No,
right? It's like
no, not at all.
It's like it's like 9 to 12 months or something. So I don't know what this does. To the Chiefs. I think the postseason, we're gonna see these playoffs. What is this, the first time in the decade they're not in the playoffs? It's gonna be really strange. I think.
How about that? This is the first time since 1998. We were all younger, much better looking in 1998. This is the first time since 1998 that the playoffs will not have a Manning or Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. How about that? I think Kansas City is, Curry, to answer your question, I think you're losing Kelsey, obviously. I think they're going to go.
Wait a minute. That's the big question of the night. Does Kelsey give it up? Is he done?
I think so. Don't you?
Well, I think it's a teardown. I mean, their stars are old. Kelsey's talking about retirement. Chris Jones is ancient. Yeah. Taylor Swift is on her last legs. I mean, this thing looks over to me.
You set us up for that one.
I think Kansas City takes 10 steps back. I really do. I think they're not a playoff team for the next couple of years.
Wow.
Because they're gonna have to replace the quarterback. Who's there going to be a quarterback? They're not going to be drafting that low. Well, maybe
Minshew magic. Minshew magic. We need some Minshew magic. Well, and their division is so much younger. I mean, Denver. The Chargers. Mahomes was 0-3 against Denver and the Chargers this year. Well, it's coming. Let's talk about a star. Let's talk about a star that was not injured, and it's astounding to me. And I'm throwing myself under the bus because I thought Phillip Rivers was going to be carried. I thought he was going to be carried out on a cart. I mean, I was really concerned about him. I thought, coming off the couch, coaching kids in Alabama was a terrible idea, but boy, I don't know if you. Right. All I saw were the highlights, but then you remember that Phillip never moved anyway. He never moved. He never moved. He just stood back there. He's so smart. Stayed in the pocket. The funky angle, that great arm that he had. Those funky angles.
Yeah, his throwing motion is still as bad as it was when he was in his youth, in his prime, right? When he was in his prime.
Always been like that.
He could not push the ball down the pass down the field. When he was intercepted at the end of the game, it was like a 30-yard pass. He couldn't even get it there, But he's smart enough and he can handle the situation well enough to have some success. I thought the Colts should have won that game.
Well, a few minutes before, he took him on a drive that got him to the 60-yard field goal that should have won the game, and then the other team came down. The
47 seconds. But see, the last possession before they kicked the field goal, instead of them trying to get another first down and maybe get a little bit closer, they decided to run the ball for four. So obviously the trust wasn't necessarily there for him. Go for the first down. So they left 47 seconds on the clock, and within 20 seconds, they were kicking a field goal to win the game.
Yeah. I wish they would have put a mic. I wish they had put a mic on Rivers because, everybody in the NFL says that he's the best trash talker of all time.
Oh, is that
And-
real?
Oh yeah. He's apparently a great trash talker. And the thing is, he's a devout Catholic. He never swears. So all his 10 children, okay? 7 daughters, 3 sons. And of course he's a grandfather. I loved it when the Chargers moved to Los Angeles. Philip Rivers kept his family in San Diego, and he bought this. He bought this customized SUV so that he could read the game plans on the commutes from San Diego to L.A. I mean, he's got to be one of your favorite guys. But how he could be the great trash talker without even swearing. I would have loved to have heard him in this game yesterday, Sunday, and see what he said.
Maybe they will. As much of that as gets done anymore. He's remarkable, and Indy has a really good offensive line, and that may be the thread that goes through Mahomes and then to Philip Rivers. Is Kansas City's offensive line is a mess, and Indy's is pretty much together, and so they were able to keep him standing, and he's going to play again this week. So
again it's San Francisco. We'll see if he can stay up right there.
San Francisco might be the story of the year this year. I mean, they have had everybody go down. Kittle, Purdy, Bosa, Fred Warner, Pearsall, Jennings, and Ayuk. All 3 of their wide receivers all of them have been hurt for long periods of time. They're 10-4, and yet they're in 3rd place in their own division because the Rams and Seahawks are both 11-3.
Yeah,
good stuff. Yeah, nobody going under the bus there for sure.
I want to throw a kicker under the bus, and it's Brandon. What's his name from Dallas?
Aubrey.
Brandon Aubrey, who's apparently probably the best kicker in the league. I think he's got more 50s. He missed 2 from over 50, and I think that I think that was a big factor in Dallas losing the game. I mean, Brandon Aubrey's he was a soccer player at Notre Dame, and he didn't even play football, but he's automatic from 50. It's our chippies for him.
Well, you know why he missed those, Curry, is because I was playing Bob in fantasy football, and he's my kicker, and I lost by 6 points. So if he made both those 50s, I would have beaten him, and he would owe me lunch. Now I have to owe him lunch.
There you go.
He still scored like 27 points.
I know he's good. He's really good.
Well, you should ask him to your lunch because he's making about $10 million annually. $10 million annually for kicking. Unbelievable.
Gladly take him. I had him in another one of my fantasy leagues, and he had 30-some the week before. He's
good.
A weapon.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's awesome. All right, but we'll throw him under the bus for missing a couple. Isn't it amazing how much better, and maybe that shows how great the athletes are now in the NFL, is that the kickers have gotten, 50 used to be
a long field goal.
Bomb, yeah. And now, you stop and kick the field goal when you're when you can get to the 50. It's outrageous.
Talking about Dallas guys, how about Jerry Jones under the bus walking out on his team because they were playing so poorly defensively? He left the stadium. Gave up on it.
Did he come back for the press conference afterwards?
Probably not until the next day.
He never met a microphone he didn't like.
We're a little late on this, but how about the Eagles, the positivity rabbit balloon that they put in the locker room a week and a half ago? We missed that. Did you remember that? Somebody suggested, because the Eagles were playing badly, they needed some motivation. So somebody put in this gigantic positivity bunny in their locker room.
Is that, you talking about a female bunny or what?
No, it was a balloon.
Bunny?
It was a big balloon, and Barkley and the others just sort of mocked it. Nobody volunteered whose idea it was, because they were going to, the bunny lasted about 3 days, and then they got rid of it.
They won 31-0, so.
Yeah. After they got rid of it, that's
how remarkable it was. Hey, college football playoffs are coming up. That's what we're going to talk about next. We're also going to spend some time while we're talking college football, talking about the mess at Michigan. Stay with us. Under the Bus, brought to you by Hudson's on the Docks. Welcome back to Under the Bus. Bob Stevens, Curry Kirkpatrick, and the mysterious Rich Basirico. We can hear him, but we can't see him.
That's a good thing.
Probably not a bad thing at all. Hey, we can't throw anybody under the bus for the college football playoffs this week yet because they had last week off. But which one of these home teams is going to lose this first round and be thrown under the bus next week? Oklahoma against Alabama, A&M hosting Miami, Ole Miss hosting Tulane, and Oregon hosting James Madison. I kind of worry for Ole Miss. I don't know.
My pick is Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma gets beat by Alabama.
Okay. That's
my pick. Hey. If Ole Miss loses, that would be a bad loss.
It would. Where does Kiffin go on that game? Does he want him to lose to show how amazing he was, or does he want him to win?
Who's Mississippi play? That team they beat by 40?
Yeah, they're playing. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Just right down the highway.
Why are they in danger of losing that game?
No, I didn't see. Bob said they were in danger.
Oh, okay.
They gotta learn a whole new. They got to put all that past stuff behind them. They got to learn a whole new system. Maybe not a whole new system, but I just think, Tulane's coach, of course, is coaching before he leaves to go to Florida, as opposed to Kiffin. And I don't know.
Well, as we all know, upsets happen every week, right? There's always upsets happening. I would be surprised. I know the players love the assistant coach that was promoted, so I think they really enjoy playing for him. I can't imagine him making some major changes, but I would be shocked if Ole Miss lost. Interesting question, Bob, about Kiffin. How does he feel about that? It's, some guys would say, hey, these are my guys. I want them to win in advance to win a national championship.
Even though he walked out on them. Yeah.
But there are other guys out there sitting there going, like you said, hey, we won because of me. And I hope they don't win, to show everybody, look at me. But I would hope he'd be blown for his players because those guys played their tails off for him as the head coach. And you want to see them have success.
Yeah. All right, easiest guys to throw under the bus. Anyone in maize and blue, huh? The Michigan.
Well, before we get to that, I want to call out your golden boy, Diego Pavia, who finished up his Heisman week looking very bad.
Yeah.
In fact, he took the loss like a Michigan man. Everybody thought that would be really close. I thought the race would be close between Mendoza and himself, but Fernando won by a ton. And, Fernando Mendoza is such a weird and wacky guy. When he talks, it's very weird, I think, and wacky, but he's it's a great story. And he's a winner that everybody, I think, got behind. And then, of course, Pavia came out. And, Pavia all week had been criticized for, apparently he was wearing headphones when he did interviews, and he was doing these casual hugs instead of handshakes. And he was, he went on TikTok and they asked him, who is the greatest college quarterback of all time, Manziel or Jackson? And he said, no, me. And so that, that kind of, it was, and then he went on Instagram, of course, after Mendoza won, and he said, F all the voters, family forever. I mean, what the hell, what is he doing? He's not just a kid. He's almost 24 years old, which I didn't realize.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. And, he's been playing this season on an injunction because remember, he sued the NCAA because of he wanted to get, which I kind of agree with him, to have junior college years not count as your 5-year. So he's trying to play again next year. He's still on this lawsuit to play next year. So we may get more of him. Yeah. But I don't know. I just think it's, Fernando Mendoza is going to be playing in the Rose Bowl in the playoffs, and your boy Pavia is in the Relia Quest Bowl in Tampa against Iowa. Come on, who cares?
Well, Pavia, I was a big fan of his watching him play, but after this last week, I'm not a big fan of his anymore.
Yeah,
I think he's really hurt his status with the NFL. Yeah. Him running his mouth like that, there are going to be a lot of GMs that are going to stay away from him.
I think he burned a lot of bridges and lost a lot of popularity. Yeah, he was the big story after the Heisman rather than Mendoza. He was the bigger story.
Hey, I think we got somebody to throw onto the bus more important in that whole Heisman thing, more so than Pavia, and that's all of the college football genius recruiters who did not recruit Pavia or Fernando Mendoza much at all. They were two guys who were not 5-star, not, the 5-star guys are all in the portal, and these guys are having dinner in New York City and talking about being the number 1 pick in the draft. So,
think about, Bob, all the experts, the names they threw out there before the season started, who they thought were Heisman Trophy candidates. Yeah. None of them were in the top, aren't even talked about at all.
Most of them are in the portal. The one who is not is Arch Manning. He is going to go back to Texas. He probably needs to go back to Texas and have a big year. He'll be the Heisman favorite when we start next fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's talk Michigan.
You're gonna take a break, Bob, or are we gonna go 40 minutes?
No, let's do it right now. Let's do it. We'll go a while on this. Of course, Sherrone Moore gets caught in an affair and gets arrested and fired, and now the entire Michigan athletic department's under investigation because they've known about this for months.
Yeah. Well, didn't the administration tell him that he had to fire her as his assistant because there was too much out there about their relationship? Isn't that what got it started, that he had to go and tell her she was no longer part of the staff?
He kept giving her raises.
Exactly, I know. But then I thought the administration told him that he had to tell her that she's no longer part of the staff. And that's when she got upset about it. And that's when she went to the athletic department and said, this is what's been going on. And that's how he got fired. And then when he got fired, he went to her house threatening her what he was going to do to himself or her too. It's crazy. I mean, it's like you can't even come up with these ideas even for a movie to some of the things that's going on there at Michigan. And I'm shocked the AD still has a job. I would think of all the stuff that's been going on over the past several years that it's kind of crazy that he still has his position. Yeah. I would be shocked if he lost his job.
Ward Manuel surviving all this. Of course, the line is that Moore is going from the big house to the big house. And I used the phrase Michigan man earlier. Everybody in Michigan just loves themselves and talks about a Michigan man, symbol of integrity and righteousness and all this stuff. And now an outside legal firm, as you said, Bob, is investigating the entire program. Because in the last 4 years, if you look at this going down the line, the basketball coach, Juwan Howard, a Michigan man, he punched a Wisconsin assistant in the handshake line. He went after his own strength coach because they had an altercation with his son, Jace, who was a star in the basketball team. He got fired. The hockey coach, Mel Pearson, deceived recruits, abused his players. He got fired. In the football, the whole football program, which, we got to go back to the guy who set this up, and that's Harbaugh. Right. Jim Harbaugh. All these characters are Harbaugh guys. The quarterback coach, Matt Weiss, had computer access crimes. He was investigating. He was getting information on players and their girlfriends on the internet. I mean, this guy, Matt Weiss, so they fired him. Harbaugh allowed him to coach in the Fiesta Bowl a few years ago, even after this was going on. Then, of course, there was the sign stealing, all the sign stealing.
Right.
With that character named Connor Stallions. He was a Harbaugh guy. And then they got Harbaugh and Moore. Both were barred from coaching. I mean, the fine, I read where the fines surpassed $30 million that Michigan had to pay. And you're right, Rich. Ward Manuel, the AD, is surviving all this. How is that possible?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, of course, the Michigan basketball team now has completely turned around, and Dusty May has them. You know, they're one of the top teams in the country. Maybe that's why. But then Ward Manuel puts this character Biff Poggi in charge of the. You know, he's going to coach the bowl game.
I don't think anybody.
He's a Harbaugh guy. You know, he brought him in, and then Biff Poggi left, and he's a self-made millionaire. He basically bought the Charlotte job and made him the head coach at Charlotte. He got fired there after 2 years. So, you know, Michigan's got a Michigan man coaching in the Citrus Bowl or whatever it is they're playing.
Hey, you know, you look. Who are they going to get? I have seen one good name so far, and I credit my old colleague Reese Davis for this. He has come up with one really interesting name that might bring some integrity back to the whole thing.
Sure.
David Shaw, the former coach at Stanford, who followed Harbaugh at Stanford and kept it going for a while until they ran out of money, basically. And then
the Alabama coach has taken himself out, right?
No,
What about the guy at Washington, Jed Fish, who's another quote Michigan man, because he's been there. He's been there. I'll tell you what was interesting, by the way. ESPN got their own Michigan man, Adam Schefter, to report on this thing the next morning after it happened, which was really bizarre because Pete Thamel, who's a Syracuse man, is the normal college football guy. But the next morning, they brought in their NFL guy, Schefter, to report the whole thing. And I just, you know, because I know Schefter's a Michigan man, and I thought this is kind of weird and kind of suspicious. And I don't know what happened there, but it kind of was weird to me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you have no problem with me throwing ESPN people under the bus, so not a big problem at all. All right. Anything else? College football? Anything wants to talk about, or should we take a break and come back and talk about you guys' favorite sport and bounce the
I got one college football for you.
You got one more? You want to save it for the end? You want to do it now?
We can do it now if I can ever find it.
What do you got?
No, we'll save it to the next one.
Oh, okay. All right. See, the tension mounts as Curry.
We'll start off with it.
Decides who he's going to throw under the bus from football. We'll be back with that right after these messages. Under the Bus brought to you by Hudson's on the Docks. Welcome back to Under the Bus. Rich Basirico still ghosting us. Curry Kirkpatrick.
It's funny.
You don't want to see my mug anyway. What are you guys talking about?
Maybe not tonight.
Rich, you know what's there is just a blank black screen where you're supposed to be. So.
What can I tell you? I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that.
All right, Curry, you got one more? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the black screen is better looking than the Army Navy uniforms. I want to bring up Army Navy for a minute here.
Okay. All right.
And, you know, they had these uniforms that honored the history of both branches of the service. And the Army uniforms were the color, I read about this, were the color of marble, which immortalized the Arlington, the headstones at Arlington National Cemetery are the color of marble. So they had that. That's pretty bizarre. And the numbers were the typography of the Constitution of the United States, and they were outlined in purple. which reflected George Washington's badge of merit, which eventually became the Purple Heart.
How many people knew that, Curry?
Well, I know nobody knew it. They just saw these uniforms. Now, Navy's they were honoring the 250th anniversary of the Navy, and their uniforms were inspired by the USS Constitution, a ship with the first frigate in the First Fleet. So those copper helmets, I don't know if you watch this thing, but they had copper helmets which represented the sheathing of the ship, and the color, the stone color, were the color of the sails of the nautical navy, which symbolized, old Ironsides, which we remember, which was the color of the hull. So, congratulations for the two services honoring their history, but they were terrible. Both uniforms looked terrible. I mean, it was awful. It took away from the play of the game, which is barely watchable anyway.
That's a history lesson right there. That's a history lesson, Curry.
The team was both teams play this simple offense and simple defense. So why can't they make the uniforms just simple? Just have Army and Navy and have their name on the back and the number. I mean, the game, of course. The game, of course, as usual, was as awful as the uniforms.
We got uniform sponsors here. Those uniform guys probably drummed up a lot of business with the great.
I think one was Under Armour and one was Adidas, maybe. I can't remember which, but I don't think they should. I don't think they want to be identified.
There you go. We are taping this show tonight on the night of the NBA Cup Finals.
Oh,
how about the Knicks? How about the Knicks being there?
Here we go.
You're right. How about that?
Yeah, that'll be their first trophy in a long time.
long time.
And what will it mean, Rich?
I was gonna ask you, Rich. This is the NBA Cup, their mid-season tournament. The silver, envisioned like soccer does in Europe. They have a mid-season tournament when there's no interest, like there is in the NBA. And the final, of course, being played Tuesday night. That's tonight. What we're doing there in Las Vegas, and they're talking about taking it out of Las Vegas because the interest is waning. Well, I can't believe there was any interest in the beginning. Rich, do you and the way they set this up, I don't know if you remember this, but the Knicks had all these weak, terrible teams to play to get there. Yeah. And San Antonio had to beat the Thunder and a bunch of other, good Western teams to get there. What is that all about?
You've heard me say this before. I don't follow the NBA until the playoffs. I really don't. I occasionally look to see what the Knicks' record is. I don't even know if they're in first place, second place, or third place. I don't really care. And I don't, the players get some extra money. The subs, they probably care about the amount of money they get for advance.
The winning team, $500,000, $531,000 apiece. The losing team tonight, $212,000. For the guys, you're right, on the end of the bench.
Yeah, that means a lot to them. But the starters, that's pocket money for them. Yeah. The guys at the end of the bench, it probably does mean it, but they're not even playing the guys at the end of the bench. They're just collecting the money.
I read where the younger players in the NBA really like this because they follow soccer too, and they have tournaments there, and they think this is cool. I think the older players, probably don't care about it. But it's played on a streaming service is the only way you can see it.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's not on any commercial network.
Wow.
It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Amazon Prime. So who does Al Michaels do those games too?
I have no.
He might.
I mean.
Charles Barkley and Dick Vitale would do it. Did you see Barkley and Dick Vitale together announcing?
Of course. That was very cool.
They're going to do an NCAA tournament game. And,
they're going to do the first four.
I don't think people realize Dick Vitale has never broadcast, I don't think, an NCAA tournament.
Yeah, wow. He's only done radio.
Yeah.
on the NCAA
That's
tournament.
surprising.
That's a
That's surprising.
big thrill for him, I'm sure.
Hey, two other quick NBA notes. I want to throw Oklahoma City under the bus. They've tanked. They're now only 24-2. Because they lost to San Antonio because Wembanyama has just been crazy. Cooper Flagg, Curry's boy, Cooper Flagg, 42 points. He is the youngest guy to score over 40. He turns 19 this weekend. 18 years old, 42 points. Pretty good stuff.
And how well is that helping Dallas?
And they lost. And they lost. And they lost.
I know they lost.
And and in overtime he had 4. Typical Dookie. Typical Dookie at the end. Can't finish. 4 in overtime.
Bad
42, 38 in regulation, 4 in overtime. Come on.
All right, let's flip the page to college hoops. Arizona's number 1. It looks like for a very good reason. They are 9-0. 5 of those wins are over ranked teams. They are the first team to do that, win 5 of their first 9, all of them over ranked teams. Is this peaking too soon?
Probably so. They're very good. Arizona and Michigan are terrific, and it's still early, as you guys know. It's very early, but they have talent. You sit there and think, okay, who would your Final Four picks be right now? I mean, again, it's very early in the season. You got to throw those 2 teams in there for sure, and probably Curry doesn't want to hear this, but you got to probably throw Duke in there too.
They're still unbeaten, yeah.
Right. Well, Rich, as you know, though, Arizona at the end of the season never gets there. They never do anything in the tournament. I think Tommy Lloyd, he's a terrific coach. He has all these Europeans, he got from Gonzaga, where he was the assistant. But I think he gets real tight in the tournament. I think I just blame it on that. They got beat. St. Bonaventure beat them. I remember that. Early, maybe first or second round. They've had a couple of first, second round exits. So as good as they are, and they are really good, they have 2 terrific freshmen. And one of the freshmen got over 30 the other night, I think, or about 28, which was his coming out game. But they're really good. They're one of the best, of course, in the country. But I'm suspicious of their ability to do anything in the tournament.
Curry, I agree with 100%. I didn't want to throw the coach under the bus, especially when they've been named, number 1. But every year when they get to the NCAA playoffs, they typically have a very good team. Everybody's going, Arizona's got a chance. Arizona's got a chance. And for some reason, they can't get past. I don't even know if they've gotten to the Sweet 16, have they? Or even
I don't think so.
They always kind of find a bump in the road they can't get over.
Yeah, the second weekend. I don't think they're in the second weekend for several years.
Wow. All right.
I got another coach to throw under, though, real quick here, if we could.
Sure.
And that's at North Carolina State, Will Wade, who of course is the biggest cheater in college basketball. But and they got him to come in there, and they play Kansas the other night at home. Kansas star Peterson, still has his hand that he's working with. Yeah. And he kept taking himself out of this game. It was a really great game. It was really close the whole game. But a kid for Kansas named Melvin Council Jr. started hitting threes, and he hit 6 threes. He had 18 points in a row against North Carolina State to get them to overtime. He ended up hitting 9 threes for 30. This is a kid that averages 10 points. He had 9 threes. He had 36. Now, Rich, doesn't a coach and Kansas won in overtime.
Right. Yeah.
As a coach, don't you figure out how to stop a guy from hitting 9 threes?
Absolutely.
They never double teamed him.
I know. You got to do something. You got to run somebody at him. You got to do something. I remember getting upset with my players sometimes when a kid got a hot hand and we didn't do a good job defending, and I would get my clipboard and put his number, like 12, in big, like, do you know who number 12 is? He's just made the last 5 baskets. Are we going to stop him or what? I mean, it just would aggravate the heck out of me. You're playing in the game. Recognize who's got the hot hand. You got to run somebody out. You got to make him give the ball up and get beat by somebody else. When a guy has a hot hand like that, the basket looks like it's 5 times the size it normally is because you can throw anything in the bat towards the basket you think it's going to go in. Obviously, he got the hot hand, and he 9 3-pointers. By the time he made the 4th one, you should be taking his legs out. Somehow do
Yeah.
something.
Double team, overplay, knock him down, do
Right,
something.
do something.
But
Get him out of his rhythm. You got
never
to get
did
him out of his
anything.
rhythm.
Wade never did anything. This kid was
Well, there you
shooting.
go.
There wasn't anybody near him for some of the last threes he made in the tight game, and I couldn't believe it. And
You got to stay at home. You got to stay at home with
thing
him,
is,
Curry. You got to
as
stay at
you
home. Guys
say-
penetrate and kick. You got to stay at home. That guy defending him does not help. He stays at home with him. But if he never called a timeout to make adjustments, that's his own darn fault.
As you say, when a guy gets hot, and this kid Council was making the baskets, they weren't hitting the rim. I mean, it was unbelievable. This kid just got it, shot it, and it went strings, just strings. It was unbelievable how hot this kid was. And I was sitting there going, guard him, do something.
Right.
And as I understand it, my contacts in Chapel Hill, of course, say that the North Carolina State fans are already restless with Wade. I mean, they're comparing him to Kevin Keats, last year, who they ran out of town
Right.
a year after he got him to the Final Four. But and it's their 4th loss, and they're getting restless with Will Wade. And how about another coach? The night we did this last week, that there was a doubleheader in Madison Square Garden,
Right.
and the Brigham Young kid, DeBonsa. I mean, he's a great player. He's a great player, but he got 26 in the second half, and Clemson blew a 22-point lead.
Right.
How can you blow a 20-point lead in a half?
That shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen.
And the last play, I don't know if you saw this, the last play,
Yes.
it's a tie game, and the guard for Brigham Young, Wright, wasn't even over
He was a
the
half
midline.
court. He was a
He
half
went over
court.
half court, and the inbounds guy passed it to him. He took 2 steps and threw it in from 25, and there were 2 defenders, Clemson
Right.
defenders. They didn't even get anywhere near him.
Right.
It was unbelievable.
Well, the play wasn't designed for him. When you watch
No.
the screens, he was just kind of a release guy, and then he flashed towards the ball, and the guy just gave it to him, and boom, he went up and shot it. And you said the Clemson guys didn't do anything to defend him.
Nothing.
Newsflash. Dabo Sweeney coaching defense for Clemson's basketball team.
That is a news flash.
Somebody completely uncovered. All right, let's throw the last folks under the bus and make it last call. Rich, you got one?
I do. I have the New York Giants football team as their search for their head coach.
Yeah.
I looked this up. It's since the last time they hired a head coach with head coach experience was in 2004. That's 21 years ago is the last time they hired a coach with head coaching. So the last 4 guys they've hired have been coordinators. And guess what they're doing now? What are they looking at? Coordinators.
Yeah.
When are they going to wake up and smell the roses here? Coughlin was the last guy they hired who had head coaching experience, and he took them to 2 Super Bowls. Since then, they've hired just coordinators, and they fall on their face every time. Can somebody wake up and tell the owner you got to hire a guy with head coaching experience? That's
Rich,
That's completely coincidental. Come on.
Rich, what do you think about the name that keeps coming up is a head coach, but he's a college head coach.
I know Notre Dame.
Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame. What do you think about that?
I don't think he'd be the right fit in the NFL. I mean, I think he's a terrific coach in college football. I just don't see him with the Giants. I think you need a guy with NFL experience, and there are guys out there. Even if one of these guys who gets fired in the next couple of weeks, like the Cincinnati Bengals guy, they at least they've been there.
Rich. But isn't that just they're just
Curry, all the guys in the NFL are retreads. Think all the guys in the NFL. How many guys have got
retread?
Yes, he was.
Guy at Cincinnati's
that's just an example. Do you think Freeman would be a good fit in the NFL?
Yeah, I kind of disagree with you. I think Freeman, first of all, would bring great excitement to the Giants and their fan base. And I think, that's what they need. I don't know how good an X and O guy he was, but if he hired a great staff and got a great quote coordinator, as you call him, I think he would do fine. I just think the Giants need new blood. It's not
Yes.
I don't think they need a retread guy.
All right. Well, they need to clean house. They need to clean house. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about that. They got to bring some new blood in there and do something different. I mean, they were supposed to be better this year. Their schedule is very, very. It was the hardest schedule in the NFL this year. But come on, you won 2 games, and you led 5 times in the fourth quarter, 5 times, and couldn't win one of those.
Didn't Dart have another concussion or something, or they put him in?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he
again?
plays like a maniac. He's not going to last long if he continues to play that way.
Curry, what do you got?
Marcus Freeman would handle him. So that'd
Okay,
be
all right.
I just got. This is kind of weird, but I'm going to women's basketball. There's a health alert. There's a health alert out for the Iowa State star Audie Crooks.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw her, but she's leads the country in scoring. But she's very Audie. I mean, Audie is very, very heavy.
Yeah.
She's 6'3", but she must go, I don't know, 250, maybe 300. It's just like she doesn't even move. She stays under the basket. I mean, her name is Audie. She plays more like a freighter, for God's sake. She stays under the basket. They pass it to her, and she makes a layup. She bounces people. She just bounces people off her. But I think it's a health alert. I think she's a candidate for Ozempic or something because I think she should watch that commercial that Serena Williams does, where she shoots herself up with some anti-fat syrup. I don't know what Serena. See, got Serena shooting herself up on the commercial. I don't know what that is, but
in today's day and age, there's an NIL deal.
Yeah. But Audie Crooks is too heavy. She's got to get. I mean, I worry for her. She's got to get some weight off. Block. She can.
Not running much.
Yeah, she just shuffles. She doesn't run at all. She shuffles up the court on a fast break.
She's the leading scorer in the country.
Oh yeah, well she can get 30 in waking up. I mean, because they just get the ball to her inside, Rich, and women's basketball they've got to have 6'5" people to guard her
Right.
Yeah, and they don't have many of those. So, and her team is terrific. I mean, I think they're going to play Connecticut, aren't they, in the next few weeks? Iowa State.
Yeah,
and they're unbeaten. They're undefeated, and of course they get great crowd support. I watched the Iowa State game, which was a great game, and they took Audie out because she was gasping for air at one point. But, get a life, coach. Get her on some kind of weight training. Come on.
All right, I got one last guy. I'm going to throw Scottie Scheffler under the bus. Scottie Pippen would be easy too. I'm going to throw Scottie Scheffler under the bus. He won the Player of the Year on the PGA Tour for the 4th straight time. He only won 6 times, though, this year, and only won 2 of the 4 majors. And he only led the tour in scoring average on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday, and on Sunday. He had the lowest scoring average each day of the week.
Oh my goodness.
But he did not lead the tour in scoring average on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I'm throwing him under the bus. What the heck is the matter with him?
Yeah, Scotty, shape up. Shape up.
Lose some weight. All right, guys, that's enough of this nonsense. Let's reconvene next week. Special Christmas edition. We will, instead of throwing people under the bus, there will be lumps of coal for a whole lot of folks next week. For Rich Basirico, whom we will see next week.
I hope so.
We're going to see him, not just hear him. And for the great Curry Kirkpatrick, I'm Bob Stevens. Thanks so much for joining us. Under the Bus, brought to you by Hudson's on the Docks.